Hello everyone, welcome. Sorry about this. Good dispensing practices, yeah. So we're going to look at what are the practices that we need to do for dispensing, yeah. So the number of them, and we're going to look at all of them. Okay, so we are going to have our introduction. We see that the good dispensing of drugs and medical supplies is an important component of rational drug therapy in order to maximize the benefits and minimize the risks to your patient. For you to maximize and minimize the risks of these medications in your patient's life, in the conditions they're suffering from, you find that you need to dispense the medication right. So in total, good manufacturing practices ensure that an effective form of correct drug is delivered to the right patient in the prescribed dosage and quantity with clear instructions, and in package that maintains the potency of that specific medication. So what is dispensing? We see that dispensing includes all the activities that occur between receiving a prescription and issuing the medicine. Okay, receiving the prescription and issuing the medicine. So what are some of the aims of dispensing? We see that the aims of dispensing, we are looking at ensuring that the medicines are dispensed safely, okay, and also involve the appropriate legal and clinical and accuracy checks when the prescription is presented. Once a prescription is presented to you, you have to carry out these checks. You're checking for the name of the medication, you're checking for the condition a patient is suffering from. Is the medication that they have given right for this patient for that condition? Is it in the right dosage? And then is it in right quantity? And yeah, those are the things, okay. To ensure the patient knows, you see that another aim is to make sure that your patient knows how to use the medication that you're going to dispense to them. And you're looking at provision of appropriate advice on drug use, potential side effects, and interactions. So when you look at the dispensing environment, is the area or place where the process of dispensing takes place and is an important aspect of good dispensing practices. Okay, so the environment where you're dispensing from, it should be hygienic, it should be clean, because like the activity you're going to do is a very sensitive activity. You can even get cross contamination within that environment if you don't consider or make sure that it is clean and it is hygienic. So it also includes staff, physical surrounding, shelving and storage areas, surfaces used during the work, and then equipments and packaging material. What are some of the attributes of a good dispensing environment? Since we have said it like has to be clean. So when you look at the surrounding, you need to look at it should be quiet surrounding, should have appropriate temperatures and humidity control, and then should have adequate lighting. Like there should be enough light in that specific area. And then good air circulation should also be in that specific area, and then maintained as free of dirt and dust as possible, should be clean, and then staff involved must maintain good personal hygiene as well, and then secure with should be secure. All right. Then when you look at the dispensing area, we first looked at the surrounding and we have seen that we need adequate lighting, should be quiet, should have enough like maybe aeration inside, and then you should have regulation of temperature and humidity inside that room. So what about the dispensing area and equipment that we are going to use? We need to make sure that these equipments should be spacious to allow smooth flow of work, or a dispensing area should have enough space so that you are in position to do the counting, the recording of whatever you are doing before you dispense the medication. So it should also have sitting facilities for your patients as they are waiting for you to pack the medication, as they are waiting for you to interpret the medication, they should sit somewhere with enough furniture for the staff, and then with work surfaces that easy to clean, and then should have with like adequate equipments that you may need to for measuring in case you have liquids, and then if you have tablets, you should have adequate packaging material where you're going to put these things. And when you're counting them, there are also those equipments that are used for counting. So you should have enough of them and they have to be there available. Dispensing equipment should be kept clean at all times. Like those equipments have to be clean, because if they're not clean, you're going to have cross contamination, you're going to bring so many effects. Food and drinks must be kept out of the dispensing area, just like any other lab, pharmaceutical lab, chemistry lab. Like you should have the foods and drinks away from it. They should not be there. And then when you look at the shelving of that area and storage, should have adequate or should be adequate to hold enough stock that you required in that area. Should have adequate shelves to ensure integrity of the drugs, and should be regularly cleaned. Like those shelves have to be dusted, they should be cleaned, and then medicine neatly arranged and routinely dusted. Okay. How about the dispensing person? What are some of the qualities of a good dispenser or the good person who is dispensing the medications to this patient? The person should have knowledge, should be knowledgeable of what they are doing, should be knowledgeable of the procedure, should be knowledgeable of the conditions, indications, and then the medications given or they're expected to give or that they expect to be given to patients. And then good calculation and arithmetic skills should also be there. Skills for assessing the quality of preparation should, or they should have that skill, and they should have the attributes of cleanliness, like they should always be cleaning these shelves. Accuracy and honesty should be able to communicate effectively. Okay, so we also see should exhibit professionalism at all times, whether serving customers or patients or not. Like whether there are patients coming in, you should always like portray or prohibit or like have this professionalism, handle everyone the right way. Should be dressed in a way that disputes that he or she is a health worker. The person should be organized, have a communication and leadership skills, and then long hair shall be tied back for the ladies, nails cut short, and then hands washed. Okay, because we are trying to avoid cross contamination, and then personal protective equipment should be put on. A clean white clinical coat for those cadres that put on clinical coats. However, there are those that do not. So what's the dispensing process? All attempts to correctly prescribe and select the best treatment can be useful, or I mean, that can be useful or can be useless if drugs are not properly dispensed. So, if the medications are prescribed right and then the dispensing procedure is not done right, you're going to find that like it's useless in a way that the patient is going to take them wrongly because they have been given wrong information when the medication was dispensed. And these patients are going to present with adverse drug reactions. These patients are going to present with so many things. So you find that it's not like the main focus or to make this work or to make this right is by dispensing it right. Therefore, it's very important to concentrate while dispensing. Do not carry out any or more than one activity at a time when you're dispensing, because your mind is going to be divided and you're going to fail to do the right thing. And once you fail, that is going to affect your clients. So it should also cover all the activities involved right from receiving your prescription to issuing the prescription or prescribed medicines. So what are the steps of dispensing? So there are basically 5 major steps. That is receiving your prescription and validating it. Then we have understanding your prescription and interpreting it. We have preparing items that you're going to issue, and then record and take or have action taken. and then issuing of medicines to the patients with clear instructions and advice. So these are 5 major dispensing steps. What you do first, you're going to receive a prescription. And after you've received a prescription, you're going to check that prescription. Is it for the right patient? Yeah. Is it having the right age? Is it having the right indication? Like the patient is having, and then the drugs that they have written, is it for the right prescription, or I mean for the right indication, and then is it effective for that condition, and are there any other alternatives better than that? Because you can always liaise with your prescribers in case of such things when they come up. So you have to look at all that information. And then when you're understanding and interpreting the prescription, you're interpreting whatever information has been put there. And as you're interpreting, there are a number of things that you have to put into consideration, as we are going to see in the next slides. Prepare items, okay? Get those items from the shelves. If you have the shelves in your facility, like if it is in the store, get it and then dispense it to the patient. And how you get it, you should be taking note of the names. Also putting in mind there are those that have sound alike, or they can have maybe same spellings but different work they do. Maybe mostly those brand names of specific drugs. Yeah, so you have to be keen about all that information. You need to always record every action that you're taking. After this, you need to record the patient that has come, patient number, what condition a patient presented with, and then what treatment you are going to give to that patient, and then issue the medication to your patient while giving patient information. So step 1 is receiving and validation of the prescription. Upon receiving of a prescription, confirm the name of the patient, just like what you have discussed. So we see that what are the contents of a prescription? These are like the different parts of a prescription. Prescription can be divided into different parts, okay? So name and unit of the prescription, where the prescription is coming from, the name of the patient and the age, the date, prescriber, signature and the name, instructions about the prescribed drug. Understand and interpret a prescription. Understand interpretation, this is the second step. Interpretation should be done by a person who can do that correctly. Okay, mostly abbreviations that have been written there, you should be in position to confirm them accurately and calculate them. Step 3, items for issue. Okay, select stock containers or prepackaging for the shelves. Read container labels at least twice, and then you should be in position to read the generic name in preference to the trademark or the trade name. Cross-check prescription medicines with medicines at hand. Take out quantity required and then count the required tablets. These are some of the ways we calculate. If you're dealing with tablets, look at the number of tablets per dose. Can be in milligrams or in grams per dose. Okay, divide by the number or milligrams or grams per dose in one tablet. So you'll be in position to know if they are liquids, you do the same. And you can pause that slide and go through that. So this is an example. A prescription is presented to you and a syrup is required, and that is amoxicillin syrup, and they have given us 125 milligrams in 5 mils. So they are saying 10 mils TDS, that is 3 times a day for 5 days. We know that every week has 7 days, so 5 out of 7 is 5 days. Okay, so the above antibiotic suspension is available in 100 mils bottle and costs shillings 250 per bottle. What volume of a syrup is going to be required for it to fit the 5 days? Okay, your patient is going to take 10 mils, and they are taking it 3 times a day, and each bottle is having 100 mils. Do you need 2 bottles? Do you need 3 bottles? You need to carry out this calculation. And you are also able to know how much, in case your facility, like patients have to pay money for these activities or these drugs that you're giving, how much is a bottle, and how much is this patient going to what to give you. So this is the calculation of what we have just done, or for the question above that we have looked at. In your free time, you can pause this slide so that you go through the calculation. So the next step is record action taken. The actions that you're going to take, you need to record them. Record of issues to patients are essential in any efficiently run medicine outlet. Records can be used to verify the stocks used in dispensing and may be required if there is need to trace any problems with the medicines issued to the patient. So the fifth step is issuing your medicines to the patients with clear instructions and advice. You make sure that you have well labeled and packaged the medication you're giving to your patient, and you should give enough information that a patient requires to know. Any warnings, anything, any additional information, maybe the food they should avoid as they are taking the medication, or maybe the food you'd encourage them that would encourage absorption of these medications so that they get better like faster. So you have to give all that information to your patient. So that talks about the information that you may give, and this is the summary. The name of the medicine that you're going to give to your patient, the dose that they have to take, and then the frequency, how should they take it, and then the duration of treatment. You look at the storage, any side effects, contraindications, interactions, and then warnings or cautions if there are any. How about packaging? You need to use the most appropriate containers to make sure that a particular drug is packed, okay? And it will ensure that the medicines are kept clean, dry, and free from contamination so that it remains effective. How about labeling of this? There are things that you need to follow when you're labeling your medication. Your packaging material, in case you're dealing with extemporaneous preparations, those are preparations that you do yourself in the facility, like the hospital. You have a section where you're able to prepare syrups for your patient. You're able to prepare so many things for your patient. What you will require to know or have when you're writing a label for such a patient are provided before you here. And even if it is not like you need to prepare or compound it there, you may also need to give instructions to the patient and have information all labeled in maybe a packing envelope. Need to label the name of the patient, the name of the drug, the strength of the drug, the quantity of the drug dispensed, and then instructions on how the drug is to be used, the date of supply of this drug, the name and address of the medicine outlet, and then you should also inform or have this caution of keeping out of reach of children for those medications that they need to keep. Actually, all the medications have to be kept out of reach of children. Yeah. So this is an example of a label. For example, you have paracetamol 500 milligrams and you've given 20 tablets. You give the instructions, take 2 tablets every 6 hours when required for pain. Do not take more than 8 tablets in 24 hours. So you find this is clearly written. You have written the name, the plot number where this patient is, and you have also indicated the date, okay? The date that you are expecting that. All right. So there are those labels that may come with pictures, yeah, because there are some of the patients who may not be in position to read. So you as yourself, you can draw them, or you can use these pictures, or you can have written or verbal instructions being given to your patient. For example, we are having something here whereby this is representing when the sun is rising, and then when the sun is in the middle noon there, and then here this is like when it is now setting, and then the night sets in, and we see that these are diagrams. This is a tablet, one tablet in the morning, one tablet maybe daytime there, and then one tablet in the evening, and then one tablet at night. So you find that this information is clear, and you've given them maybe for days. So these, you can use this diagram for capsules, and you've told all this from what we have just interpreted. When the sun is rising, when it is noon, like hot, yeah. Then when the sun is setting, and night. So we see that you can use this for capsules. One capsule when it is rising, when it is noon, and then we see that there is no capsule, maybe evening time, and then you have a capsule for that, and that has to be taken for maybe 5 days. And we see that this is like a half, okay, a half a tablet in the morning and a half a tablet at night. So you find that even if this patient does not read English, can see these diagrams, and if you've explained them if you've explained the diagrams to them, they are in position to appreciate it. So what are some of the dispensing aids and materials that enable us to dispense their medication? So we have a number of them. For those, for maybe medications that need us to count, we can have the triangular table counters, we have the capsule counters, we have the dispensing spoons for syrups, and then measuring cylinders, spatula, electronic tablet containers, and other materials. Yeah. So we need to note down something here. We see that dispensing equipment is a major source of cross-contamination. So we have to be keen when we are using them to make sure that we don't have any cross-contamination. When there is cross-contamination, we are affecting the quality of the product that we are offering to your patient. And when it is affected, it brings a lot of things. What are the basic rules for dispensing? Always use generic names when you're labeling on those medication package material. Count and pour, and then label one medicine at a time. Don't label all of them at a go, because you're going to mix them up, or you're going to mix the labels. Use the proper dispensing tools to avoid cross-contamination, and then close and return all the stock bottles to the shelves immediately after you have used them, so that you don't forget it. So we have something here to brainstorm about. What are some of the dispensing errors that you may encounter when you're carrying out this different dispensing procedure in a facility that you're working, in the place that you're in? So what are some of the errors that may come up? Here are some of them. We see that dispensing of the wrong drug. You're going to mix with, maybe your patients are many, you are talking at the same time, you're on phone at the same time, handling your patient. You're going to end up dispensing the wrong medication to the patient. Or if not a wrong medication, you're going to dispense a wrong dosage to that patient, a wrong strength, the wrong quantity, the wrong label information, and then there will be also drug omission, the double dispensing, and then dispensing the drug to the wrong patient. What are the common dispensing errors? We have look-alike medications, and these are some of the examples of look-alike. So you can pause the video in your free time and go through them, because you will meet them in the fields. Okay, so what about sound alike medications? Like they all sound alike. Some of these patients come and say, I want omeprazole, I want furosemide, I want this. Okay, of course, it's not the right one, but they will tell you already have a prescription for it. And you find that maybe they're mentioning a different drug altogether, because they have not maybe got the real pronunciation of that drug. So you're going to end up dispensing for them a wrong medication. How can we prevent these dispensing errors from arising? So we are going to look at some of the things. You need to study and comprehend your prescription. You need to handle one patient at a time. Do not handle so many patients at the same time. You need to clear the table, should be competence, and then quiet environment, and you should have the counter check points. Okay, so what are some of the aspects of good dispensing practices? You're going to look at the physical surrounding that we looked at in some previous slides. How is it? Is it spacious enough? Is it having enough lighting? Is it having maybe enough aeration? Is the temperature and the humidity in that area like regulated? Then you look at the shelving and storage area. How is the shelving and your storage area? How is your dispensing area? How is the dispensing person? Is it a person knowledgeable? Is the person hygienic? Is the person knowing what to do? Is the person doing one thing at the same, like at a time, or many things at the same time? Should be effective communication, record keeping, stock management, maintaining quality drugs. Arrangement of drugs. How do you arrange your drugs in the store or in that dispensing area? You can arrange them in alphabetical order, pharmacotherapeutic category, or in dosage forms. Okay, so alphabetical order, for example, here we have albendazole, atenolol, bisacodyl, captopril, and then pharmacotherapeutic category, you arrange them antibacterials, antimalarials, hypertensives. How about in dosage form? Liquid dosage form where you have solutions, suspensions, and emulsions. Solid dosage form where you have your tablets, capsules, powders, and granules. So what are some of those considerations you need to put when arranging these drugs into dosage form, into therapeutic effect, or in alphabetical order? You look at each dosage form of the drugs arranged in a separate and distinct area. Sufficient empty space should like you should have sufficient empty space for this, and then put drugs in a dry place protected from direct sunlight, and then store liquids in a pallet on the floor or on the lowest shelf, and then do not store anything directly on the floor. Maintaining patient privacy. Patient privacy in the dispensing environment has to be maintained. Conversations during the dispensing encounter should be uninterrupted. Okay, because you're going to forget maybe what you're trying to say because your friend has come up, you're on phone, you are doing so many things at the same time. Yeah, wow. So this brings us the end of this lovely lecture. I want to say thank you and give you a toast, yeah, for staying with me up to this far. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for tuning. Stay tuned to Grapharm Academy. If it is your first time tuning to Grapharm Academy, kindly tap that bell, like, share contents of this channel. Thank you so much. Stay blessed. This toast is for you. Thank you. Yeah.